Hello everyone, this is Mr. Supnil Babusah Gherwade, the lecturer at Serene of Technology Polytechnic at Vichalkaranji. I am here with the next lecture on the management subject. In this we will deal with the third chapter, that is directing and controlling at supervisory level. Okay, so in that our first point, or in this lecture we are going to deal with the directing at supervisory level. In this point we have some topics, or we will cover these some topics, like first, needs of directions and instruction to the subordinates. Second, completeness and feasibilities of instructions. Third, requirement of effective direction by supervisor. Fourth, characteristics of good instructions. Fifth, importance of directions, and the last one, characteristics of direction. These will be the points which will be covered in this lecture. Okay. We will move forward. Next, the first point, needs for direction and instructions to subordinates. Okay, so we can go through some introductory part. Okay, in a company we can see the three level of management. Okay, or three level of things. First, at the top level there is a director, the chairman, divisional director. Okay, at the middle level we have supervisors, the team leaders, or the departmental heads. Okay, and at the bottom level we have subordinates and the daily workers. Okay, so the company in industry we have three steps, like top level, middle level, and bottom level. The same way also in our education system also, the educations, or in the colleges also, we have three tiers. In the topmost there is a chairman, there is a director, and there will be a principal. In the middle level we have dean, HODs, and the class teachers. At the bottom level we have the students and the peons of the respective department. So this is one tier system which is there in the education system, and also same way in the industries. Okay, so our first point is need for directions and instructions to subordinates. What is by subordinates? These are the workers at a lower level in the company. Okay, so why we give them the directions? What is the need? That we are going to see in the first point. Okay, so the first one, there is a chance of mistake. See, non-guidance will leads to the mistake, and your guidance to the subordinates, or your direction to the subordinates will lower the mistakes. Okay, second, people become directionless. Without a guidance or direction, the work will be directionless. Okay, next, prior instructions assist in the smooth functioning. Prior means in some companies there is a way, like the supervisor will take the 5 minutes meeting or the 10 minutes meeting at the start of the day, so that it can give the proper instructions or the prior instruction to the workers, so that they work smoothly throughout the day. Okay, next, work cannot happen as per the plan, because we don't give the direction to the workers, so that they doesn't have any target, they doesn't have any goal of the day, so that they can't work with the plan. Okay, next, subordinates may get frustration due to mistakes they are making again and again, because the direction is required at most. Due to directionless work, the subordinates or the workers may done the mistake again and again, and due to that mistake they get frustrated. Okay, next, loss of resources. The mistakes leads to the loss of resources, such as idle time of worker, extra expenses on the materials, and low output. Okay, next we will see seventh point, that is wastage of time. The wastage of time is increased due to the mistakes. As mistakes are many, the wastage of time will be more. So the direction will reduce the mistakes, it will reduce the wastage of time. Next, possibility of repetitive work. It can be get reduced by giving a proper direction. Next, chaos will be possible among the team members, because in low level also we see some differentiations like senior workers, junior workers. Okay, so there is no plan, there are no directions, so there will be some conflicts between those seniors and the juniors. Okay, so that will create some chaos at a industry level or at a working level. Okay, next, new staff or the juniors cannot work without proper direction and instructions. Take as you as a student, when you after completion of diploma you will join in the company. At that time you are a fresher for that company, as you are a new to the company, so the you must require some directions or the instructions to work for the day, for the month, for the years. Okay, so the direction is required for the new staff and the junior workers. Okay, next, single mistake may cause the heavy losses. Single mistake may cause the heavy losses. We have the good example of it. In one of the case, one man had not fitted the washer in aeroplane wing. It leads to the aeroplane get fired and get crashed. Means this type of single mistakes or the small mistakes also take the heavy losses to the companies. Okay, next, system of working will be collapsed due to non proper instructions and non directions. Okay, next, loss of discipline is possible. As I said earlier, there will be at a lower level also there are some discriminations like seniors, juniors. Okay, so the chaos will be there, and the chaos will leads to the indisciplined work at a industry. Okay, next, so the next point we have that completeness and feasibilities of instructions. Completeness and feasibilities of instructions. Feasibilities means possible for the workers is the feasibilities. Okay, in that we have some points like first, instructions must be given at a proper time. For industry workers, the proper time is the start of the work or the start of the day is the proper time, because the supervisor also take a 5 to 10 minutes meeting at the start of the day, because they must have some plan, they must have some targets, and they set all those goals or those targets with the workers so that they can easily work or they can smoothly work throughout the day and they complete their own targets. Okay, next, instructions must be given to proper person. In some cases the supervisors can instruct the senior workers so that they can convey the proper, they can convey the instruction in a proper way to the juniors, because they are the ones who works on the machines. Okay, next, instruction must not be confusing, it must be specific, and there will be a bi-directional communication so that any questions arise by the worker that can be simplified by the or that can be answered by the supervisor, so there will be no confusion. Okay, next, they must be given by proper authorities. They must be given by the proper authorities. Here in company we see the scenario like there is a top to bottom approach. The subordinates of the workers only hear the directions given by, or they only obey the directions given by the upper layer supervisors or the manager or the director. So there will be a top to bottom approach. Okay, next, instructions must be in written or in oral form as per the requirement. If the workers are in less number, just we can say 20, 30, then we can have a oral communication at the start of the day. If I want to convey the instructions to the all the workers in the numbers of 200, 300, so we can display the instruction in a written way. It is feasible to read to the every worker. Okay, next, they must be clear and simple. As the instruction is clear and simple, it can be get understood well and it can reflect in the work of the worker. Okay, next, language must be familiar to the users. If the company is in Maharashtra, workers are the Marathis, then language for the instructions will be in Marathi only, so that they can understand it well and they can reflect the same into their works. Okay. Next, instructions must be readable. As instructions are readable, they can be understood well, and same way as they get understood, they will work well and they will complete their targets and goals. Okay. Next, instructions must be specific. Instructions must be specific. Okay, so we cannot provide the essay to the workers with some paragraphs. Okay, there will be some few points. After reading the few points, the worker will understand it well. Okay. Next, instructions must have proper meaning. Instructions must have proper meaning so that worker will understand it well. Okay. Then next, we have again 3 points. No requirement of additional instructions. You must have a specific instructions which doesn't require any extra data which will confuse the worker and which will lead to the mistakes. So no requirement of the additional instructions. Next, instructions must be based on logic, scientific base and experience. As workers or the senior workers are working in the company for so many years, so the instruction must be logical, it may have some scientific base and it is experience driven, so that it can be easily understandable by the workers and they can convey the same to their juniors or the fresh workers. Okay. Next, instructions must follow the rules and achieve goals. The instructions are always in line with the company's goals and the targets, so that those instructions will complete the goals or the targets of the company. Okay, this ends your second point. Next, requirements of the effective direction by supervisor. Supervisor will direct the subordinates. It must have some requirements. Okay, the first one, harmony of objective, means the supervisor should direct the subordinates in such a way that they feel that their personal goals are in the harmony with the objectives of the organization. Means the goal of the worker and the goal of the company must be in line, so that worker will work for a company and company will think of a worker. Those must be in line so that company will get profit, worker will get good salary. Okay, this is meant by the harmony of objective. Next, unity of command. It means the subordinates should receive orders and instructions from the superior ones. Means always in industry there is an approach like top to bottom approach. The worker will only listen to the supervisors, the directors, to the managers, to the chairmen, to the head of the departments. They cannot listen to their subordinates or cannot listen to their fellow worker. They only listen to the supervisors. Okay. Next, direct supervision. It means every supervisor must maintain face-to-face direct contact with his subordinates, so that it can have a good communication. The workers can ask their questions and the supervisor can answer it well, so there will be no mistake and it will work smoothly. Okay. Next, efficient communication. It means communication is an instrument of direction. Supervisor give orders through communication only. As we know, communication is the base of the everything. So communication will be such that it will understand by the worker and he will reflect the same in his work. Okay. Last one, that is follow through. The supervisor should follow through the whole performance of its subordinates, not only by keeping a check but by helping them in their difficulties also. So for the supervisor there will be a closed loop. If if he has assigned any work to the worker, then he will take the total follow up of it from the start of the day to the end of the day, so that worker will work in a well manner and it will reduce the mistakes. Okay. Next point we have, that is characteristics of the good instructions. How will be the instruction is, what it contain. So there are some characteristics. We have total 8 characteristics. Okay. So first, What it is? It should be a reasonable. It should be a reasonable means it must have some reasons behind it which is in line or which is linked with the targets of the day or the targets of the months, so that worker will do it. Second, it should be enforceable. It should be enforceable means it can enforce the subordinates to work so that they can complete their targets. Next, it should be clearly defined so that worker will understand it well and they will reflect in their works. Next, it should be understand easily so that it can have a smooth working, it can reduce the chaos, it can increase the disciplined work at the bottom, everything. Okay. Next, it should be complete in all respects so that no doubt in the minds of the workers. Next, it should have acceptance from subordinates. It should have acceptance from subordinates. If they accept it, they will work as per the instructions and as per the directions. Next, it should be preferably written. It should be preferably written so that it is readable to the workers and they will get understand it well. Next, the last point is it should specify the time. See, always the worker have some targets. If in first shift also, in second shift, in third shift also, every worker at a bottom level has some targets. It must complete these targets in a 8-hour schedule. So specify the time for every instruction so that the worker will in the way to complete his targets. Okay, so these are the some characteristics of the good instructions, that it must be reasonable, it must be enforceable, it is clearly defined, it can be understood easily, it complete in all respects, it is acceptable to the subordinates, it is preferably written, and it must specify the time with it. Okay, so this ends your third point. We will move to the fourth one. So the next point is the importance of directions. We have some 6 points. Importance of directions. Why we must provide the direction? That is first one. It starts the action. As soon as you direct the workers, they will start the action. This is the first important thing. Next, it ensures maximum contribution of individuals. As individual contributes the maximum, it will lead to the maximum output of the company. Okay. Next, third, it coordinates the group efforts. As you know, the teamwork leads to the great success. So the group efforts will lead to the great success for the company, and this will again reflect in their salaries too. Okay. Next, it provides stability. The stability which improve the production rate, the output of the company. Next, it provides balance in the organization, which will ensure the stability and progress of the organization. Sixth, it helps to achieve the objectives of the organization, to go with the goal and the targets and to achieve it. So these are the importance of the directions. It starts the actions, it maximizes the contribution of individuals, it coordinates the group efforts, it provides a stability, it provides a balance in the organization, and it helps to achieve the objectives of the organization. This completes the fourth point, and we are in the last point, that is characteristics of directions. The direction also must have some characteristics. Okay, in that, first is it is managerial function, means in industry, as we know, as I said earlier, it is top to bottom approach. Management must decide something, it will convey to the middle level, and the supervisor, the team leaders, will convey to the subordinates. Okay. Next, supervisor initiates the action through directions. Directions of the instructions leads to the actions. Okay. Third, direction is a continuous process. As you know, direction which leads to the action, of the worker. When worker will work, it may come across some mistake. Again, that supervisor will direct him. Again, he work well, and it leads to the whole target of the day, or it can complete the goal of the company. Okay. Next, it is in top bottom approach in organization. As I said, there are three levels: top, middle, and bottom. Always there is a top to bottom approach in giving the instructions and directions. Next, subordinates follow supervisor because of his directions. They will follow only the supervisor because he will direct them well. And last one, the characteristics of direction is it is a link between planning and control. Okay, so this ends your first lecture. Okay, thank you one and all.